Hey everyone, what is going on? So we do have another Mirror Cup, a Boulder Cup coming up this weekend, the 25th. So I'm really excited for that. Maybe we'll go back-to-back wins, right? Who knows? Who knows? But this is my Boulder Cup team. It's going to be Gallade, Bronzong, Skarmory, Swampert, Medicham, and Torterra. So I feel like this is a basic team, a team that you'll probably see. You'll probably see a lot of these Pokemon. You'll probably also see Jirachi. But we are going up against the one and only JayDevin, who we battled on his live stream actually last night, or the night before last, a couple nights ago. I don't really remember. But yeah, awesome battler. Thanks a lot for the battles. I will link his channel in the description down below. You definitely want to go check him out. He is over 700 subscribers now, but let's try and get him to 1,000, guys, right? Because 1,000 is a huge milestone for YouTube. I mean, like, reaching your first 100 is a huge milestone, and then generally speaking, I think I was super stoked when I reached 1,000. That was a long time ago, but I was really happy about that. So let's try to get up to 1,000 subscribers. He totally deserves it. He makes top-notch content, and there must be 300 of you that watch this video that probably are not subscribed, so go ahead and subscribe and help me out and help him out. But yeah, let's get on to the video, shall we? Now, I didn't know JayDevin's team. I did send him my team, but I didn't know his team because he was live streaming it, so I just sent him a battle request. He didn't send me his team. So I was going into it blind, I guess, but I just assumed that he was using the basic Pokemon like Skarmory, Medicham, and Swampert, and then I also had assumed he was using Jirachi because he used it against me in the past during the Boulder Cup, so you know, I had an idea what his team was, but I didn't know exactly what it was. But regardless, we do win Game 1. Very good game. We're going to jump into Game 2. It was a best of 3, so we have Skarmory against Medicham, and Medicham does win this matchup with shields, but Skarmory will get Medicham down very low, and I'd rather just lose the Skarmory than switch out and give him switch advantage so he can come in with a counter to my following Pokemon and completely destroy me, right? So it's totally worth it to take his shields, even though he's going to take one of my shields. Definitely worth it in my opinion. So as you can see, he's down shields, and then we're going to be knocked out. I assume he has a power punch. In fact, I know he has a power punch ready, so he will fire us with a power punch, but we'll be able to bring in Medicham. Actually, it was a nice punch, my mistake, and then we knock him out. So he does bring in that Jirachi, as I said. He likes using Jirachi, a very powerful Pokemon. I actually want to use one as well. I have it. I was at Go Fest. I just didn't invest in it. And we're going to get off another power-up punch. Now, fighting moves are neutral to Jirachi because it is part psychic. So the psychic part of it will resist fighting, but the steel part will be weak to it, of course. So we bring in Torterra after Jirachi and Medicham go down. Now, we are up a shield, and he's going to get off his move. So I'm going to go ahead and block this. I knew it was going to be super close. He hits us with a side shock, and I wasn't sure if we would get to the Stone Edge before he gets to his move, which is going to be Side Shock, but no, we actually get to it and we win. But he said it was a tie because he was at the Side Shock, just couldn't get it off, and we got it off first, so we do win that. But good games, JayDevin. Can't wait to battle you again. So we're going to jump into a battle with Jokes, Boulder Cup again. We battle him all the time. Beginning with Bronzong, he does begin with his Swampert. I do charge up a little bit, and then we switch into Medicham. I didn't want to be hit with the Hydro Cannon, so I do go ahead and shield that. He does switch into Skarmory. We're going to go ahead and fire off a power-up punch. Medicham is a pretty safe switch-in because there's not a whole lot that really counter it well. I mean, Skarmory is okay against it, but as I said, with shields it loses, so there's not really. I mean, you could switch into Swampert. He had a Swampert, but I mean, you could switch into Gallade, I guess. You could switch into Bronzong, that's neutral. Gallade, not really a super great switch. It's probably the best you can do. Torterra, I guess, would be good, but again, fighting is neutral, and then you're going to get off power punch after power punch. But anyway, we have a Skarmory against Medicham right now. He does fire off a power punch against us. We'll take it. Switches into that Swampert to fire off a Hydro Cannon. That Hydro Cannon will do a lot of damage, but we'll be able to take it, and we'll be able to throw a Sky Attack his way. He's going to use that shield, so we do take his last shield. And now we're going to be knocked out with Hydro Cannon. So I'm glad that he did use his energy on my Skarmory. I think he had to, though. He actually has enough for another Hydro Cannon, which I didn't realize. I probably wasn't counting. You know, I don't think I was counting. I guess I should have been. But either way, we do go ahead and knock him out with Confusion. And then we're going to be able to fire off a Side Shock, which will be neutral. To be fair, will be neutral, doing a lot of damage. Now, I knew he'd get to a Power-Up Punch, but I knew we'd be able to take it, but I knew it would be a very close game. So we do take it, and then his counters are going away. Can we finish him? No. Actually, we do finish him, but we go down as well. So it's a tie. You know, we both win, or we both lose, however you want to look at it. But good game, good game. We're going to go into another match, beginning with Medicham. He does begin with Skarmory. So a favorable matchup for me. He probably feels the same way. He doesn't want to switch out into something else. So we fire off a Power-Up Punch, and he's not going to block that. We're going to have to block the Sky Attack, though, obviously. So we do go ahead and do that. And then he actually does switch out into Medicham. But as I said, Medicham is a pretty safe switch out. So we do bring in Skarmory. I don't know. Maybe I should have stayed in with Medicham. Maybe I shouldn't have brought in Skarmory, because he is able to fire off Power-Up Punch after Power-Up Punch at us before we can get to a Sky Attack. So now we do get to that Sky Attack after 2 Power-Up Punches, and we're going to take a shield, but he's going to be able to knock us out. So yeah, I shouldn't have switched into Skarmory. I should have kept the Medicham. That's why I said Medicham is a really safe switch, and huge mistake on my end. Shouldn't have done it. I knew Medicham won that matchup, but we did it anyway. So we're hit with an Ice Punch, but at least we'll learn from that mistake. And we'll fire off a Power Punch. He'll take it, and then we'll knock him out with Counter. He does bring in a Skarmory, which will knock us out. We bring in Torterra, and I knew we wouldn't be able to take out his Skarmory. We do have a shield, that's fine and all, but his moves are just going to do a lot more damage. We actually do get to the Stone Attack, or the Stone Edge, but I decided not to even click it because he had a shield which he would have used. So, you know, despite double resisting grass attacks, that Razor Leaf was still putting in some work. Obviously, you don't want to have a Torterra against a Skarmory, but it was still doing a little bit of damage, wasn't it? So for this match, we lead Swampert against his Torterra. So I do go ahead and switch. You have to switch in that situation. He brings in his Swampert, and I decided to invest both shields against this Swampert because I knew I needed Skarmory so I could handle that Torterra, or at least that's what I was thinking. So I'm like, I knew I was going to commit to this Skarmory. He does not block, so that's good for us. We're going to, as I said, invest the second shield, saving the Skarmory, and then we'll be able to knock him out with fast moves because we need to keep this Skarmory alive. He does bring in Medicham, so we fire off a Sky Attack, which would force a shield, or will force a shield, I should say, which is good for us. And as I said, keeping that Skarmory alive just so we have it for the Torterra, because Torterra can't really touch Skarmory, not too well. You know, Stone Edge would do damage, but it can't really do much against it. So we bring in Bronzong and we fire off a Side Shock, excuse me, and those bubbles just went all over the place. I wasn't able to get an excellent on that, but we still hit a great, so that's okay. And then I'm thinking about what to bring in. I do decide to bring in that Swampert to take the Power-Up Punch or Ice Punch, and it was a Power-Up Punch. And then he switches into Torterra, which I feel like was a mistake because he knew I had Skarmory in the back, and and he must have known I was going to switch into Skarmory. He had to have known it. Obviously, he knew it. So we're able to wipe out that Torterra easily. And yeah, I would have kept Medicham in, went up against my other Pokemon, and see what happened in that situation because he knew I was going to switch into Skarmory. But either way, that was a good game no matter what. So we jump into another match beginning with Skarmory against Glade. So we definitely catch him on the lead. I do have to be careful for that close combat, but he doesn't use any confusion, so I'm okay with that. I do bring in Medicham after I charge up a lot on Skarmory, getting ready for that Glade in the back. We're able to fire off a Power-Up Punch against his Skarmory, which, I mean, nothing crazy, but it's okay. We do go ahead and throw another shield into the mix because we want to be able to knock out this Skarmory. We do go ahead and fire off a Power-Up Punch, and I do believe he lets this one go through. Yeah, he lets it go through because he probably couldn't have gotten to another Sky Attack. He does bring in Glade, and I'm going to go ahead and use an Ice Punch. Wondering if he was going to shield. I didn't think he would, and he doesn't, so you can see how much damage that did to him. I do decide to bring in my Torterra to fire off Razor Leafs because I knew how squishy Glade was, and I knew before he realized what I brought in, he couldn't get off the close combat if he had one, and then he brings in Swampert and we win with Torterra. So if he had close combat and we brought in Skarmory, he would have probably done a lot to us. We would have won that game anyway because we had the Torterra, so it didn't matter which one I brought in. But for this game, we do begin with Swampert against his Bronzong, so I am going to charge up enough for an Earthquake and then fire off a Hydro Cannon, hoping he would use a shield thinking it was an Earthquake, but he doesn't do it. So we're going to go ahead and use a shield of our own against Psyshock. And then I am just charging up energy, trying to knock him out, and we actually do knock him out. He must have just been at that Psyshock. So we fire off a Hydro Cannon. Now, I knew I had enough for 2 Hydro Cannons, so he does block it. We fire off another Hydro Cannon, and he is going to go ahead and block this one. So we take both shields. That's really good for us. We are up a shield. Unfortunately, he does switch out, which is fine, but unfortunately, we couldn't get to another Hydro Cannon. One mud shot away, but that's okay. So he does fire off a Sky Attack against Bronzong. We could definitely take it. I decide to go for this Psyshock instead of the Bulldoze. Let me know if I should have went for the Bulldoze. I'm not sure. I don't think it really mattered. But we're going to go ahead and take this Sky Attack. And we switch out, saving the energy for later. Now we have a Skarmory ready to go. We have a Bulldoze Bronzong, and we also have a Psyshock Bronzong in the back with energy. He has no shield, so we're just going to farm him down, and then he brings in Medicham. We do fire off that Sky Attack, which will connect because he has no shield, and we fire off another Sky Attack. So we actually don't even need that Bronzong with all that extra energy in the back, but we had it just in case. He does bring in his Skarmory, which is very low, and we're just going to finish it off. Well, he does get to his Sky Attack, but we burn our last shield and finish him off. And yeah, so we do go ahead and win that one. So another good game. So we're going to jump into the final game of this video, which will begin with Swampert for us and Swampert for him. So mirror match time, we'll see what happens. I was hoping to get to my Hydro Cannon first to see if he would block or not, which I do. And I was basically going to mimic whatever he decides to do. So he does block, so I figured I would block at this point as well. So trading shields, not too bad. And then I'm just trying to get to a Hydro Cannon first, which we do. And this one he does not block, and which in turn means I'm not going to block it. I decide to take it as well. And we do get hit with that Hydro Cannon, that's fine. And then he actually pulls a switch into Medicham, which allows us to get off a Hydro Cannon. So probably wouldn't have switched there. I probably would have raced to the Hydro Cannon, and then he uses a shield, and we're able to switch into Skarmory, taking this power up punch. Now Medicham, as I said, does win with shields, but without shields it loses. So because he doesn't have any shields, we are able to get off that Sky Attack and knock out Medicham. So definitely an advantage for us. He brings in Swampert. We're able to knock him out before he gets to a Hydro Cannon, and then his final Pokemon will be that Skarmory. So we have all 3 Pokemon, feeling confident. He's out of shields, and we could use any charge move we want. We have 1 shield available. It looks like he lags. He just sent me a message saying just end it. So I guess he was just giving up. I don't know. Either way, we had this game, so I switch into Medicham, and I wait a little bit to see if he responds, and then I just decide to go ahead and finish the game because we had that game anyway. So good game. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Bye. Thank you so much for watching my latest video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you like this video, click on one of the links to check out another one of my videos that you'll probably enjoy.